big dog, we need to talk about both YCSs and everything else that happened over the weekend. It was our first major event using the new time rules and also the first event after the ban list. There's so many things that we have to talk about, new cards, new decks, and new opportunities. So let's go ahead and jump on in. What's going on with y'all big dogs? And it is an amazing day for Yu-Gi-Oh! I hope that your day phenomenal. But if it isn't, don't let what happened at the beginning of your day ruin the rest of your day. And in case you guys did not know what day it is Update my day! A particular time where I trick you into thinking that this is a Yu-Gi-Oh video, when in actuality, I want to make you a better person overall. Today for Update Monday, I want to talk about something a little personal, and I think it's something that can tie in with you guys. In case you didn't know, I have been coaching girls flag football. And my girls, they some troopers. We got utterly destroyed in our very first game, which made me take coaching seriously. And then we came back and we spanked they tail. I'm telling you, when your boy cooked, he made an entirely new offense to go with his entirely new defense, and we put the BTA on the second team. The third team, we walked into their home field knowing we could win. Down some of my best players in the game, we were still ultra confident, and we lost. I think Yu-Gi-Oh players can 100% relate, because there are certain matchups or even certain games where you feel like you are going to win no matter what. You were destined to win, and then you get a little bit of humble pie. The moral of the story, and something that you can take for it, is never underestimate your opponent. It's always the losses or the opportunities missed that you don't see coming, or those situations that can sting a little bit more. But to also put a cherry on top of it, if you didn't learn anything from that particular situation, well, then you're a fool. I have been whipping the team in shape, and I actually do have an announcement to make. I will not be streaming today. I will be preparing my girls for the game. We have a game today on Monday, so wish us luck. It's kind of crazy when you parallel that to Yu-Gi-Oh, because a lot of you guys had your games yesterday and the day before. YCS Lile, I hope that I'm saying it right, as well as YCS Lima and other events were pretty huge. And there were quite some cards that I've noticed that were really strong. But first, we have to talk about Genesis format. Unfortunately, YCS Lima was not televised, as South American events normally aren't, but what we saw from the Italian YCS is that players were playing Genesis, and it's looking really interesting. Me personally, I love that this format is getting all of the attention, but I want you guys to let me know down below in the comment section, what do you think of Genesis? I went to my locals and people were just playing Modern. They ignored Genesis. But my locals has some of the most competitive people on the West, multiple people that have topped and even won a YCS, and multiple people that have topped nationals. So they kind of locked in when it comes to the TCG. Myself personally, I am locked into Genesis. I have been playing it non-stop. But to bring us back to the modern Yu-Gi-Oh, there were some really cool cards. I noticed that Dominus Impulse was probably the star of the day. This card was easily the best card in the room most of the time. If your deck can't afford to play Dominus Impulse, you 100% need to be playing the card. Another thing that I've noticed that people have been playing were Psy-Frame Gear Gamma and Psy-Frame Delta. Gamma is currently limited on the ban list, so obviously you can only play one copy, but Delta has been really good. These cards actually have a place in the format, especially if you're playing a Yu-Gi-Oh deck that can put bodies on the side of the field. I also noticed that Droll and Logbird seen main board play. It is pretty good against Mitsurugi, as they need to search a ton, but if I'm being honest, it's kind of lackluster against some of the other decks like Yummy and Dracotel, and players were playing those decks a lot. In fact, if you look at the breakdown for YCS Lile, it is Yummy, Dracotel, Mitsurugi, and K9. Those are easily the most played cards. So while Droll is weak against Dracotel and Yummy, it's pretty good against Mitsurugi and K9. Oh, and also it's good against Lunalight, so you could justify playing it. Super Polymerization was also an insane card, because it hit just about every single Yu-Gi-Oh deck. In order to combat that, I've seen Mitsurugi players doing the most disgusting things. I mean, throughout the stream, we did see quite a few floodgates, and some people missed some opportunities. One player used Exceed Universe to make DDD King Kali Yuga, and in case you didn't know, you can't do that. It was on stream, in front of judges, and in front of thousands of players. But it just goes to show how complicated modern Yu-Gi-Oh is, because sometimes you can just miss even some of the simplest things. Don't fault anybody for that. But again, I'm really excited to see what you guys have to say down below in the comment section. What do you think about that? And I also want to know, what do you guys think about buying the cheapest sleeve on the universe for the best quality? I'm going to tell it to you straight, guys. Mrs. Brown, she took the entire company. She is currently raking me over the coals in our divorce settlement, and I think personally I might have to give her the channel, or whatever's left of it. I need you guys to help me out. Go ahead and go to TheCaliEffect.com and purchase sleeves today so I can save my marriage. I'm just joking, guys. She couldn't leave the Leonster just yet, but if you guys go to TheCaliEffect.com, not only can you pick up the cheapest sleeves that are the best on the internet, you can also pick up some really cool mats today. The last card that I noticed that was really powerful was Skullmeister. And this is a card that I have been telling you guys for a very long time. It can negate Mitsurugi monster effects in the graveyard, and it also can be used against Dracotel pretty efficiently. It also can stop K9 Lupus from activating, and it has 1700 attack. This ain't no weak hand trap, my boy. Before we get into the deck list, another thing that I want to talk to you guys about is the new time rules versus the old time rules. This is going to be our very first major event with these time rules, and for the people that participated, either it's local, regional, or YCS, I want you guys to let me know, what do you think about the time rules? On one hand, I've noticed that the time rules do allow events to get out a lot quicker, which I could never be against. Nobody wants to sit in a shop all day and smell people that have never showered. Also, I like going outside and touching grass. I know that may seem like a rare phenomenon, but I think Yu-Gi-Oh players could benefit from doing that. But then there's also the other added benefit if you're not like me. I've noticed shops have been running 2 tournaments a day. I think that that's a benefit, and I also think that players have been slow playing a lot less than we expected. Granted, there's been quite a few situations that I'm vaguely aware of that have been terrible incidents, but right now they don't outweigh the benefit of being able to get out on time. Now, there's a couple of other things I want to show you guys, which I think is really interesting, because keep in mind, the only top is top 8. I think it means that day 2 counts a little bit more. If you guys watch YCS Live's day 2, Dracotel increases to 17%. Yummy's at 16, Mitsurugi's at 14. In my opinion, this translates to the bad Yu-Gi-Oh decks finally getting the boot. And now we get to deal with only good stuff. What's really disgusting is Mitsurugi Yummy, because who the hell wants a reptile in their ice cream cup? I guess that's not here nor there right now, because if we look at the top 8, my boy, I'm just gonna go ahead and show you all of the decks because they're pretty exciting. Brother man, look at all this. It's some really cool decks that I would love to see. The next time I stream, which I want to say Wednesday, we are 100% going to be able to see all of these cool decks, brother. There's a Fire King deck that topped. There's Lunalite. There's Orcust. Oh man, you know I love Orcust. But let's go ahead and start off by looking at the highest tier Dracotel, which is the top 16 Dracotel. This is a branded version of the deck, and it looks like Dracotels are actually going to start playing the green one, Fuxial. I mean, wait, hold on, no, not like that. Frixel? This card. It allows you to be able to target a Dracotel monster in your graveyard and special summon it, then return one monster you control to the hand, which I think is pretty good. It allows you to be able to trigger your Lucius and, you know, use Malulu's effect to fuse. And it gets a card in your hand too, so like, I think it's good. Then they're also playing Dracotel Sting too, which I think is a really good card for graveyard removal. Their side deck? Random Bestial Serenir? Oh, it's the Send Branded Fusion. I'm stupid. This is a branded version. Branded Dracotel is a pretty solid deck. Do we have any other decks we can look at from Lile? There is, let's see how Yummy is. And what's actually crazy is that Yummy got kicked out of top 4. So Yummy may not be the best deck in the world, but then again, Triff won with Yummy, and this one's playing Nightmare Corruptor Ibli. Brother, it's like they got rid of some of the worst Floodgate cards only for Yu-Gi-Oh players to find the other Floodgate cards, which is why I'm such a proponent on Genesis, because this doesn't happen. At least not yet. So the thing about Nightmare Corruptor Ibli is that when you normal summon it, you can turn it into, I don't know, a Solomon Great Almirage. Give your opponent an Ibli, which means they can't nib you, and you have a Link 1 monster. So you can start off with your Yummy combos. I can't be mad at it. Ibli is a card that should have been banned, and when you look at the sideboard, that's disgusting. Floodgate, 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 Fair Floodgate, floodgate. I'm not sure how Yu-Gi-Oh players feel about this particular situation. Like, floodgates are always going to exist in modern Yu-Gi-Oh unless they actually ban every single one. But it feels like every single time we get rid of one, Yu-Gi-Oh players just become more innovative. This is a pure Draco Tail deck, and it is not playing any floodgates other than Dimensional Barrier. I'm actually proud of you. This is more of a pure version using the Edge Imp engine and King of the Swamp to be able to summon Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. And one thing I love about this is that polymerization is a genuine threat. Your opponent has to use cards like Dominus on this card, because if not, you can always summon cards like just straight up Dragoon by itself. Oh, and then there's Kwakimiru Drago. I didn't see that floodgate. We're just going to keep on pushing. All right, next is going to be Vanquish Soul K9. This is the highest topping one. Congratulations to everyone that topped. Jan Oliver Meyer is topping with this version of the deck. I never considered this deck dead, even with the hits of Stake Your Soul and Razin, but this is pretty close to what you might see. TJ and I were testing when multiple Vanquish Soul starts, and it's really nice to know because of Naror, the new card, we don't necessarily need to play a whole bunch of Vanquish Soul starts. Just go ahead and K9 combo, buddy. Also, this one's the fair deck. There's no floodgates other than there can be only one. All right, well, I mean, we're trying to win here, right? Outside of that, the interesting deck, we get to see, this is the highest topping Mitsurugi. Nope, we have second place Mitsurugi's deck, and this is the best deck in the room oftentimes. Pure Mitsurugi allows you to be able to play Dominus Impulse. We talked about it being a really strong card, but since also he has the extra deck space, you can play Super Poly too. This gives your deck the flexibility to be able to break your opponent's boards or prevent your opponent from making boards, while also allowing you to be able to play around cards like Molchummy Flawless, because you don't need to special summon much. But if you do, you're searching Fossil Dino Apache Cephalo. That's what we're doing here. Brotherman is siding Shifter. I'm sick. Bro, what is this side deck? Bro, the longer I look at it, the sicker I become. There's Dimensional Fissure in here. Help me! Help me! Moving back to Lile, I don't think that there's any other interesting decks. Really wish we could have seen that Odeon. Oh no, I'm lying. We have Gym Knights here. The deck that players didn't say it was good. And holy, no floodgates? Oh, I love you. Oh, there's the Dimensional Barrier, but I'm not going to be mad. Gym Knights are a really good going second Yu-Gi-Oh deck. And I'm actually really interested to see what Lima is going to show us. Currently, if we go there, there's no deck list just yet, but maybe we'll get some more good information. But this Gym Knight deck is, I mean, like, hey, it's a going second Gym Knight deck. If you guys thought that this deck was bad, it's not. And I just realized there's an artifact Mjolnir. For the people that don't know what this is, players will summon Imperial Princess. Well, first of all, they'll get Dagda to search this card pretty much, right? Then they'll go Princess after they get it to the graveyard to summon it to your opponent's side of the field, so they can't summon until the end of the next turn. It's a floodgate. It's a lock. It's Gimmick Puppet Lock, but slightly worse. When this card is activated, send one light fairy monster from your deck to the graveyard. Oh, well, you don't even, that's insane, brother. It seems to be able to win in modern Yu-Gi-Oh, you have to play some sort of floodgate. Because even when we jump into the Houston World Championship qualifier and look at Javon Payne's deck, there's no floodgates in the main deck, but there's still Dimensional Barrier. I'm not sure if this is like a hard floodgate, because like, don't get me wrong, guys, we've been playing it, but there's nothing seems to be new about this deck that makes it like overly powerful. The virus cards are pretty funny. Not gonna lie, Malice is getting a little innovative. Okay, and they're playing Dotscaper again. In case you guys were wondering what Mitsurugi Yummy looks like, this would be the deck. You literally put a snake in your cup and you called it a day, dog. I can't rock with you if you play this deck. TJ's probably gonna figure out how to play it. There's 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18 hand traps with board breakers too, my brother. I'm not gonna lie, it looks hella consistent too, brother. There's 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 16, and then there's the Mitsurugi. There's a lot of starters. Me, I know, guys, I'm one of those scrub purists, but I like when Yu-Gi-Oh strategies play the Yu-Gi-Oh cards that you're supposed to play. Because then there's Corin Lozano's Vanquish Soul Malice deck. This is an abomination, guys. I ain't gonna lie. Bro, they're cooking. Yu-Gi-Oh players are some of the most innovative, terrible people in the world. Because, brother, you found the floodgates to work with this deck, too. I can't be upset. They're winning. They're winning, and that seems to be Yu-Gi-Oh. And hopefully very soon we'll be watching Genesis events, because Farfa did host a Genesis event, and boy, oh, look at this, brother. Megalith, Punk, Vanquish Soul, Onomat, Archmage, Odeon Generator? With Odeon being a powerful deck that can be played in both Genesis and the regular TCG, one would wonder what exactly is in store for us. TCG exclusives are now dominating the Yu-Gi-Oh card game, and outside of the floodgates, I'm actually pretty excited to see the development of the game. Maybe floodgates stop being good when players start playing back row removal again, or maybe even monster removal in the case of Fossil Dyna. But overall, I really want to know what you guys think about the current Yu-Gi-Oh meta and where we're headed. Of course, Big Dog, as always, post down below in the comment section, and also be sure to check out these videos so I can catch you on the next one.